guys, Will from Tested. It is time for yet another edition of the Tested Mailbag. I am sitting here on the couch in the Whiskey Media office getting ready to film the happy hour for subscribers, whatever we're calling it now, I don't even know. Basically, I'm going to answer some questions. You're going to hear the answers. And then after that, we got our first package from a reader. Giant Bomb gets packages all the time, but Norm and I haven't felt special because we haven't gotten any reader packages until today. So stay tuned. Great edition of the Mailbag coming up right now. Our first question comes from a person who plays games, a player of games, as it were. He asks, my neighbors are complaining about my thin walls. Apparently they can hear me give my TF2 teammates commands at 1 a.m., and they're not too happy about it. What would you suggest for a cheap soundproofing or dampening solution? Well, there's a couple things you can do. The first is don't be that wow guy. You know, I'm probably gonna put a clip here that shows you what wow guy I'm talking about. You know, the screamer.
Whelps! Left side! Even side! Many whelps! Now handle it!
Don't be that guy. Second clip is get some of this stuff. It is not pretty, but if you are yelling at people on the internet at 1 a.m., I'm gonna assume your wife isn't gonna be upset. If you glue some of this shit to your walls, it will dampen the sound. Get that, it's good. The next question is about ebook readers. This reader writes, I'm an avid reader and have wanted to get an ebook reader since they first hit the market. I use my library over stores because of the number of books I read. Is there a tech out there that would satisfy my desire for books with buttons, yet still be legal? You know, there really isn't a whole lot of lending in the ebook world. The Nook is the notable exception. You can borrow books from friends. And I remember reading at some point in the past about a solution that would let people, you know, borrow books from the library or whatever kind of public book lending institution. I don't know if it ever actually happened or not. So I would take a look and see what the Nook offers on that front. The other thing is Sony also had a library initiative for a while, but I think it kind of fizzled out as well. So I don't really know. Maybe somebody in the comments can hit you with an answer on that question. This is a Will Smith question. How sick are you of the inferior Will Smith being mentioned on your @WillSmith Twitter account? I've been named Will Smith for my entire life, and he's been famous for probably 2/3 of it at this point. So if I did not have a sense of humor about this by now, I would be a very angry man. So I'm not sick at all. This is the answer. The next question is about programming. Hi, I've always loved being involved in computers, but I've never really sat down to learn stuff. Can you tell me what the best way to learn how to program is and how to learn what other computer-related knowledge is? So, I mean, I'm not an expert on programming by any means, but my understanding has been that the best way to learn is to figure out a project, pick a basic language, maybe buy a book or find some online tutorials, and just kind of jump into it and get going. I mean, you can take a lot of classes. There's all sorts of stuff you can take in college and computer science degrees and stuff like that. But for kind of modern interpretive, I think they're called interpretive-based languages. Anyway, the stuff like Python and that kind of stuff. I mean, pick up a Python book, figure out what kind of project you want to do, and learn how to write a web app is what I would say is the best way to get started for programming. The next question is about phones. Hey, Will, which Android phone are you using, and what iPhone case is Norm using in his iPhone 4? There's a lot of iPhone 4 mentions in that question, but Norm is using the Incipio Feather case for his iPhone 4. It is a very thin piece of plastic. Are you not? Norm is shaking his head no. Is that not an Incipio Feather?
In-case, snap-on, free.
Oh, Norm is using the in-case snap-on. It looks like the old Incipio Feather, but it's an in-case instead, and it came free. It's part of the get a free iPhone case if you bought an iPhone 4 and are upset or just want a free iPhone case program. I'm using the Samsung Captivate right now. It's the AT&T version of the Galaxy S. Not a huge fan of it. It's kind of slow and janky unless you do a whole lot of stuff to it. I'm really hopeful that either Samsung will fix the phone with the Froyo update, which should be coming really soon now in September sometime. We're halfway through. Come on, guys. Or, even better, Cyanogen 6.1 for Captivate and other Galaxy S phones. So that's what I'm doing. I would hang back and not buy a Captivate until you find out either whether Froyo is good or the Cyanogen update is good for the phone. This is a great question about upgrading technology. What should I do with my old tech after I upgrade to something better? Trying to sell stuff on Craigslist has been a pain, and just throwing it out seems wrong. I mean, there's a bunch of good stuff you can do with it. I like to recycle, whether that's through a organized recycling program where you either pay somebody money or they just come to your house and pick up stuff. HP, Dell, Apple all have computer recycling programs that they're associated with, and generally it costs like 20 or 15 or 20 bucks, and people will come and take as much as you have to recycle at a time, and they'll come to your house in the whole 9 yards. Really great service. Alternately, you can recycle in a less kind of throwing stuff away way, and just give your old stuff to a friend or sell your old stuff to a friend for a bargain price. Craigslist is a good option if you're comfortable dealing with the hassle of selling stuff on Craigslist. eBay is also good, but I actually don't like buying electronics on eBay. So, I mean, it seems weird for me to recommend people sell electronics on eBay. So, I mean, I would say find a friend, a family member, somebody like that who has a crappy old computer, and give them your 2-year, 3-year, 4-year-old computer, and have them pass it on. Or the other place that you can do stuff, lots of times your local schools will take used computers, depending on how well funded the school system is. So that's another great way to use old technology. Don't just throw this stuff out. I mean, even a 3 or 4-year-old computer now is going to be much better than what a lot of people have out there. So be reasonable about your pricing expectations. Don't expect to get $2,000 back for the computer you paid $2,500 for 2 years ago, because that's not going to happen, unfortunately. William. Now that Whiskey Media sites switched over to H.246, I think he means 264, video encoding or whatever, I find myself in an undesirable situation. My Windows XP system gives off crackly sound when I'm playing your videos, but the VM'd Linux plays audio fine. How does one fix this? Okay, so there's a couple of things. If you're having, check to see if the video's playback is happening in Flash. You might want to uninstall and reinstall Flash. You could have some sort of problem there. That's a possibility. You might also want to upgrade your sound card drivers in Windows XP. I mean, honestly, not a bad idea to consider upgrading your OS at this point either. And finally, if you're having problems in Windows but not in a virtual Linux, that to me says that probably it's either Flash or the sound card drivers. So I would say look at Flash on Windows first, maybe try different browsers. Chrome has Flash built in, because on the main site we actually still use Flash video playback. It's only when you're on the M.dot site that we have the H.264 video playback. So there you go. That's my tips on that. Give it a try and let me know how it goes. The next question is about upgrading to SSDs. I'm looking at adding an SSD to my PC, like you guys did for the PC build, but I'm adding it to a working PC. So I would be moving the OS, Windows 7 Professional, and wondering what kind of issues I would run into doing this. Would I have to reformat, etc.? Well, you wouldn't have to reformat because you're going to install Windows on the SSD, presumably. But probably the best thing to do is install Windows on that SSD, unplug the old hard drive while you're doing this so you don't accidentally overwrite it, and then copy the information you need off of the old drive. The bad news is with Windows, you'll have to reinstall all the applications. If you have applications that are activated, like Photoshop or a bunch of different games, Far Cry 2 comes to mind, Crysis, some other stuff, you actually want to run the deauthorization tools before you wipe the drive, because otherwise you'll lose the ability to reactivate those applications over a period of time. We don't actually have a list of applications that are activated on the site. That seems like a great thing to add, so maybe we'll talk and see if we can get one of our writers to build a list of common programs that need deactivation. Our last question is a great one. Is there any performance increase by getting faster memory in applications, games, etc.? For example, is DDR3 1600 faster than DDR13 33? And really what that depends on is how you use your computer. If you're using applications that stress the memory bus, which, I mean, there's not a ton, but things like video editing, photo editing, compression, anything that does a lot of writing to and from the CPU, you probably can see a benefit from a memory upgrade, memory speed upgrade. However, there's a bunch of different variables here. So, latency, sometimes some applications respond better to lower latency memory, some respond better to more bandwidth. And those are generally mutually exclusive things. So, if you want to decrease your latency, you have to decrease your bandwidth as well. Faster, lower latency is better in this case. So, I mean, it really depends on how you use your PC. If you're just playing games, you're probably not going to notice much of a difference in a frame rate sense. So, I would say, unless you're doing something that really specifically hits the memory bandwidth hard, it's probably not worth upgrading your memory from what you're using right now unless you're using significantly below spec memory. So if your CPU is designed to work with 1333 memory and you're running 1066, you might actually see a benefit from upgrading to 1333, depending on your motherboard, how the chipset's configured, and what kind of CPU you're using. So now it's time to watch us open our first reader package. It's crazy. Here it is.
Let's open it. Ryan's camera's reactivated.
Okay.
Hey, you want to set this up?
So this is our first ever tested video mailbag opening shit from Readers edition.
This is a sub mailbag.
It's a sub mailbag. It's like a special edition mailbag.
We're-
We should come up with a really ridiculously long name for this
We're gonna
right now.
we're gonna come back to that. Well, this is also I Love Mondays.
No, this isn't. We don't do I Love Mondays.
No, I'm saying
we hate
we
Mondays.
already started I Love Mondays, and then we rolled into a mailbag.
Wow.
And now we're gonna take a break to do your mailbag.
They're mad with power.
And then we're going to come back. As you can see, our mailbag is still going on over there.
Yeah, but that's.
I'm taking a break. So you guys got something, and then intern Steve is now shooting it as well.
Intern Steve is shooting in the background.
It looked like an Amazon package, which
It does. It says Amazon right on the
But it
side.
came
But-
from USPS.
USPS from, I'm going to show Irvine.
Show the address.
No, I'm just getting up close. Yeah, that's a
Definitely not Amazon.
macro.
Okay.
So
I can get really close like this.
Macro.
You look really good. When I do this, you get blurry.
That's crazy. There's a switch on the top of the camera to make this happen.
Whatever is best in there.
Also, we got a tweet, like a mere 5
There was a
minutes
tease
ago,
tweet. It was like 20. It was like an
giving
hour
us
and a half ago.
advice. So maybe
What was the advice?
the advice was
Open this on camera.
The advice
There's
was,
probably a snake
the
in there.
advice was for me to call the best thing in there.
No,
So
no,
I already
no,
called-
no.
It was. I got that tweet.
I just would like to say that this letter says to Will Smith.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Crazy food.
Oh, it tastes like Japan.
Is there a letter? Read the letter.
It's the taste of
You gotta read the
Japan,
letter?
man.
You gotta read the letter.
Oh,
Oh,
greetings, tested. It's from Always Be Clothing.
Woo!
Also, always be
Always
corgi
be
on
corgi.
Twitter.
Always Be Corgi.
He's got his own logo.
Yes. I gotta love a man who loves a corgi. Okay, so
Greetings, tested. Originally,
That says a lot about you.
I had been mulling over sending this box for some time now. However, when I saw Norm's childish glee at receiving a box of giant Pocky, I knew exactly what must be done. Heading out to nearby markets, I grabbed a bunch of stuff I've enjoyed in the past and have personally tested. Feel free to share this with the whiskey family. No.
What? We're sending that.
feel
part.
free not to share this.
I
with
hope
no.
whiskey continues to bring hilarity over years to come. Wishing I had made it to the party.
Oh, dude.
Always be cordial.
All right, Ani, you want to give us a breakdown of what we have in here?
We got Hello Panda, which I've tested before.
These
and
are
it's
great.
You
freaking
pre-tested
These
awesome.
are excellent.
And they're all screen printed with
Are
individual
they made with real
pandas.
panda?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
they're On there.
Oh,
And real
double
hellos.
chocolate. Hello, Panda.
What does it mean?
So basically, we gotta stop that. We gotta stop this double rainbow
I'm never gonna
nonsense.
stop
All right.
that. I
Oh,
invented
hi,
that.
Chew.
Oh, those are really
The best
freaking
of the chews.
good. Those are very popular in California.
I'm not gonna ask why it's called High Chew.
Whoa.
They're different flavors. You got mango, melon,
Come back.
He's got the
Fruit
macro.
chews.
He's macroing you.
orange,
Get close.
green apple,
Oh, yeah.
and banana. Ew, banana.
What is banana yellow?
I am anti-banana flavor. How do you feel about banana flavor, Ryan
I'm
Davis?
staunchly anti-banana
Yes.
flavor. Very pro-banana.
Anti-banana flavor or
Oh,
pro-banana
anti,
flavor?
very anti.
Norm, anti or pro-banana flavor?
Anti.
Technically, though, Twinkies are banana flavored.
What?
That's
No,
fucking
That's
bullshit,
true.
dude.
No.
They're
That's
just yellow.
That's
Just
not
because
an
they're
urban
yellow.
legend.
right
It's
now.
not an urban legend. It's
not.
true.
It's
Can we
not.
talk about the power
Look it up on
crunch?
Snopes.
Yeah, please talk about the pouch.
So is this? I assume that because there's a hammer on this, that means we're supposed to put this on the table and smash it and then open it. Is that
Oh.
correct?
Dude, you know what this is?
It's ramen.
It's just ramen. It's ramen that they encourage you to eat raw.
Raw.
Here we go.
Wait, are you supposed to pour salt in the bag, shake it up?
No, no, it's
That's
pre.
how,
you
that's
ready
how
for
we
this?
did it back in
It's
the
sweet
old
and
time.
sour. It's pre-flavored.
It says step 1, smash noodles.
Smash noodles on.
I might have over smashed.
Wait a minute, we only
Might have
have
over
two.
smashed. Oh, I'm not gonna open this one.
no,
We'll see what this one's like later.
I'll just break it up like that.
It's the worst smashing, noodle smashing I've ever seen. I'm disappointed.
Well, it was good smashing, just no power.
It's a big old pocky.
Giant.
Norm has
Pocky.
already opened up an enormous Pocky.
Giant Pocky is great.
It's just like something you have
covered
in your
breadsticks.
nose. You kind of have like one of these numbers. Not so much. Okay. So we got Pocky. We talked about.
Whoa.
We've got chocolate cream wafers, which we like.
Great naming language.
Yes. I don't know what this is other than they're chocolate cream wafers, and they look like they're from some place called Halal. I don't know where that is. I'm bad at
Halal.
geography.
That means
You
it's
say
kosher.
halal, I
Another
say
kind
good
of
ball.
kosher.
Well, then, good ball, good ball.
Good ball, good
From
ball.
halal, or are they halal?
So that's another edition of the Tested Mailbag. If you have questions for us, you can post them on formspring.me/tested. You can be anonymous, use your Twitter handle, Facebook login, whatever you want to do. And as always, that does it for this week's edition of the Mailbag. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.